Hello, greetings, and good morning from my side. You're on to Augustine, and I'm reaching out to you directly from Nigeria. Um, I may have to do my broadcast today using my audio version, and if things goes as planned, then I hope to bring up the video version before the end of this broadcast. But nonetheless, the information is what matters. It doesn't matter who is behind the scene. If you're able to listen to the informations and do the needful, then you are better off. So if you're just tuning into my broadcast for the first time, I welcome you. It's a pleasure having you. Welcome to the Simply Brilliant community. The Simply Brilliant community is now a rebranded version of Kringle Private Society. And the reason why we're rebranding is because we want our message to be heard by all of humanity this year. There is a whole lot of things that are going to take place this year, a whole lot of advancements that will take place this year. And we implore every of us who will listen to hold on to this community because we have a whole lot to offer humanity. All right, yesterday was a wonderful mass adoption meeting, and it began in a kind of what I say, the administration was quite fagged out. And he came in with a tone of tiredness and hoped that the meeting was going to be brief. We originally intended a 30 minutes monologue, but God quickened him in the course of the meeting and it went more than 30 minutes. In fact, we did a beautiful 2 hour meeting. Yeah, the monologue was about 45 minutes or 50 minutes, around that range, you know, and then questions began to pour in. And the questions were really wow. So people listened to the question and the administration gave answers. I want to once again commend the wisdom of the administration. He's a man that was born in due season to help humanity see what's going on. He was born in due season so that humanity will not be doomed to a life of misery. So, within the next few minutes, I'm going to take my time to review the mass adoption meetings highlights, and then I give in some inputs, and then we'll share our screen, Kringle Cash back office, and see a few things which may be beneficial to all of us. And then with that, I'll be bringing this meeting to a close. So if you're tuning into my broadcast for the first time, do well to like, do well to share, and do well to subscribe. That's part of social proof. We are changing the narrative from scarcity based to an abundance based system. That's what we are doing. So I crave your indulgence. Cultivate the habit of liking, cultivate the habit of sharing. And if you are new to this broadcast, subscribe because informations will keep coming here from this Kringle community, now Simply Brilliant community. All right. So I have earlier that the meeting looked unassuming as at yesterday, because of the tiredness of the administration. And the administration began by giving us a history of why he set up the Kringle Private Society, now Simply Brilliant Community. The reason is because he saw the handwriting on the wall as at 2016. In fact, long before 2016, the administration had studied the elites. He had studied the elites for over 25 years and he had understood their pattern. So he didn't just come up with the Kringle Private Society, now Simply Brilliant Community, as at 2016. This had been on his mind. He had been looking for a way out until he beheld Bitcoin. When he saw Bitcoin, he was interested and kind of excited. But over the years, he understood that Bitcoin was also designed on a principle based on scarcity. So that was what broke the camel's back. and he decided to move on and create his system, which is God's own medium. I call it God's own medium because when you look around the world is filled with abundance. And if you are thinking that the world is not filled with abundance, that means you are still in the matrix, and I implore you to come out of the matrix. So, the purpose why Simply Brilliant Community was formed is because he doesn't want humanity to be doomed to a life of misery and digital slavery. Most of us who are already members know what I'm talking about. But now I'm giving you a rundown of the meeting for yesterday. The reason why these rundowns are being, brought to us is because many people may not be chanced or opportune to have the meeting. So I think it's just fair for me to give us a quick one so that people will take notes. And if there is need for you to, position yourself accordingly, then you can do so. All right. Admin was never interested with the idea of a human RFID. And when I came into this community as at 6 years ago, in the next 2 months, 7 years, it was not difficult for me to understand the message that the administration was talking about. I had an upline, which happened to be someone that is among the multitudes whose interest is not humanity at large, but interest is based on selfishness. And somehow I was a victim of, malhandling. I was not taken care of by my upline. But nonetheless, I overlooked the person who was an upline to me and I paid attention to the message. That is the blog, the old blog, thebillioncoin.info, blog.thebillioncoin.info. I took my time to listen to the heartbeats of the person behind the scene. I listened intently, I listened deliberately, and I understood that this was not just a Bitcoin, this was not just a community. There was something that the administration was trying to point out, and that was what piqued my interest. I am someone that is given to focus. When I focus on a thing, the only thing that can separate me from that thing is my removal from this earth. That's the nature of human being that I am. It doesn't matter how long this community will take to get to our 1 billion members. Rest assured, I'm going to be one of those that guide the community until we have built our membership base to 1 billion and we have become an economy, an alternative economy to this crumbling economy, because I am convinced beyond reasonable doubt. You see, that kind of conviction is what the administration would want each and every one of us to have. One mind. If we can't have one mind, then divisions will continue to come as we move on. But I hope you wouldn't be a victim. And I also hope you would not fall prey to those ones who are selfish. All right, now, moving forward. The elite has always had a program, and the program they've always had, I'm actually giving the highlights. So this is on the third one now. The elite always had a program, and the program they've also always had has been based on a system that is called scarcity. They've always put out to us that scarcity has always been, and that's how the world exists. That's why there are always two options. You either have an iPhone or you have an Android phone. They give us choice, and a very limited choice. That's actually what they give us, the illusion of choice. They give us the illusion that we can actually buy Coca-Cola or we can buy Pepsi. But all these things are engineered by them. And most of us do not even know. So the administration was actually pointing to us that the idea of the elites has been based on scarcity and control. And that's how they invented the idea of COVID-19. Now, admin maintains the point that COVID-19 was a test run program to see how the implementation of the mark of the beast will be in the coming years to come. Of course, they have engineered digital ID. They've also engineered central bank's digital currency as a means of control so that there will be nowhere to run except you don't want to eat. That is what they want to do. And all these were written in the Bible, the basic instructions before leaving earth. In the book of Revelations, chapter 13, And when you read through, you will see how it was written. It was designed in such a way that, irrespective of whatever category you find yourself, whether you are wealthy or you are poor, whether you are a slave or you are a freeborn, whichever category you find yourself, you are going to have no other choice than to comply with what the elite has set up. And the administration said no, that there is always going to be a way out. And that is why you are a member in this community. Or maybe you are observing a member. It's not a mistake. If you are thinking of becoming a member, I think it is high time you made up your mind and become a member. My details are below if you think you want to reach out to me. Listen, the love for humanity is what we are preaching. We are preaching the love for humanity. We are not preaching that you come in and join us so that we take advantage of you. We want you to add to the voice. It's called no. We are giving a united voice saying no to the elites. We don't want your system. We don't want your control. That's exactly what we are doing. Now, moving forward, as we continued building from scratch, you know, there were some attitudes that members played out, uncoordinated attitude, an attitude that did not show love and respect, an attitude that did not show delayed gratification, an attitude that showed selfishness. In the early days, when people had coins, there was no Kringle cash. People were busy selling coins at a discounted value. It was a warning that that's contrary to the terms and condition of the community, and that actually earned TBC the title of a shit coin. In fact, it was more than a shit coin. That was it. As at then, because I had the conviction in my spirit, I understood where we were going. So I held on, and I held on firmly. I did not have doubts of where we were moving to. I was so certain that this was just a phase and we were going to pass that phase. It was at that level that some people, given to quick gratification, started dropping. Nonetheless, I pushed forward. This was the system that made the administration set up the Kringle cash, and then they changed the design of the distribution from a decentralized concept into a centralized concept where the coins are domiciled in the hands of the admin wallet, and based on the concept called meritocracy, it is distributed to members who merit that position, who merit those coins. Remember, Kringle coins, as at then, is not anybody's coin. Kringle coins, as at then, it's a coin belonging to members in the community. So it was clearly said that it doesn't belong to members. And its admin kept on that particular instance that people should beware. It should be clear that those coins do not belong to members, a property of the community. And the members who come in are seen as stewards over those coins. So these are the things that some of us should kindly take note of, because these are the things that were highlighted in yesterday's meeting. The elite use a divide and conquer principle to rule humanity. And they've always been doing that from time to time, creating divisions and then giving us the illusion that we have enemies, whereas we are not. We are all one, irrespective of your religious background, irrespective of your native background, whether you are a white man or you're a black man, we are all one. And all we are just carrying is a container. What is inside is a spirit, and each of us come from the same source, which is our creator. These are the things that the administration was pointing out as at yesterday. So the vaccine was actually a system to check. And after checking, they came out with a result that was positive, and that they could actually shut down the world and they could go about whatever they want to do with ease, and people will comply. The reason is because majority of humanity has been, convinced, confused, and deceived into believing that their government has their interests at best, that their government believes or trust, they believe their government can work and then do things well for them. They give us this illusion of democracy, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But if you have been sincere to yourself, you find out that it's a set of unelected people that decide who rules, especially in countries that matter the most. Yes, that's how it has always been. The likes of the United States and other countries. You see, these are still the same people making the rules. And you think that you go to vote, and after voting, you think that whoever you voted came in. Now, that's an illusion. It may have held in previous years, but as at this time, this present time we are living in, the possibility of having that is no more, it's no more happening. The elites have their plan of building a one world government. And a one world government means that the relevance of your present government in your country will become useless. Of course, when their financial system has become digital, then the usefulness of central banks will be next to nothing. The usefulness of the government will be next to nothing. It becomes go to your Georgia Guidestone, go read the concept of the Georgia Guidestone. The intent of the elite has been put there in black and white. And whoever it is that has not kept up with what is, they have put it there. The population of human, bringing in one religion, bringing in one world government, and all that. So it's not out of place. These things are not hidden. They are all written in black and white. And this is why Simply Brilliant Community was set up. The admin said we are like the sun. And anyone who decides to be like the sun will shine, and darkness will not comprehend. We are in a fight between light and darkness. Let's see who wins. Of course, I believe light will always win. So, moving forward, TBC was born as an alternative to their controlled system. That's what TBC is. And as it is now, Simply Brilliant Community. To be clear, Simply Brilliant Community is just a continuation of what TBC was. TBC failed because people used it for scams. So now, Simply Brilliant Community will become evident when we become 1 billion members. As we transit, we are going to work with a gold-backed system. That's what we are going to work with. And the administration talked about it briefly yesterday. As at now, we're having about 100 and I think 140 million worth of gold stored up in Dubai, around 130, 140. I'm not so certain about the amount, but within that range. Now, that's not the only amount we are going to have. As we grow, as we develop, we will have much more. We are going to have over a million, we are going to over a billion, sorry, over 2 billion, over 10 billion. All of our currencies, which is gold backed, will be literally backed by gold, not just in one country, in several countries across the world. This is what we are going to achieve. As we grow our membership, we get more organized. So I implore you to join us because we are going to have an economy based on equity, love, and justice. Now, when we get to 1 billion members, we will agree to transit from a gold backed system into a Simply Brilliant Community, which is measured in grains of gold, but not backed by gold. It is actually backed by human beings. That is what SBC is. Some of us has been asking, where is the wallet for SBC? There is no wallet for SBC. There will be no wallet for SBC until we have built our membership base into 1 billion. At that point, then the administration will set up a wallet and we will agree, including the merchants that are existing then, to transit into an economy based on members, active members. The value of our coin is based on living men and women. And as we grow, you are going to see it. When we have gotten to 1 billion members, that's where our value is pegged. We are also going to accommodate the rest of humanity, but the value of our coin is pegged to 1 billion members. Even though the name is now Simply Brilliant Community, the principles still stand. So kindly take note of that. Now, we were supposed to have moved into a new system by 2023, January 1st, but unfortunately, the programmers did not do a good job. They dilly-dallied, and I do not know what went wrong, but as expected, they did not perform. The timeline given to them, they did not meet up. Hence, we have not yet moved into our new system. Now, our new system is going to be like Kringle.cash, but it is not Kringle.cash. We're going to have a different URL, and that URL, everything will be domiciled inside of that URL. And It's actually a hard pill to swallow that by this time we have not yet moved into our new system. Nonetheless, the admin had apologized. The administration said he's sincerely sorry and that it was never his intent to say that we delayed this long, but that shortly we're going to move over. Hopefully by February, that we're going to transit now into our new system. Now, one of the things he talked about as regards the new system is that number one, we are going to tighten up security. That is one of the things. Now, I am tempted to think that the security he will tighten will also have to include facial verification. Now, I stand to be corrected. But then, because we are moving into a new system where you are going to be having your match wallets, and then you are also going to be having your staking opportunity and a whole lot of other things such as your trading and all that, it's going to be so risky for someone else who happens to be a billionaire to have access to another person's account who is also a supposed billionaire. Therefore, your face is going to be a way to identify you, and that if you are not the person that has that account, it may not grant you access. Now, this is what I think. However, the administration may decide to put in other measures which may not be facial verification. But one thing is very sure, which I think I should make it very clear. As we build our membership base, at some point, facial verification will become compulsory. Let me say it again. Facial verification will become compulsory because if facial verification is not put in, then there is every tendency that someone can take advantage of someone's account, because as the world transits into a digital economy, there are also going to be people who will step up to become super hackers. There will be people who will step up and they want to do a whole lot of things. So I think facial verification will be like a second factor authentication. It's going to be your face that you use to have access to your account. And this facial verification technology will also apply to that which the government will use. Of course, I am sure you should be aware of digital ID. Now, go make your homework about digital ID. Some people are not paying attention. Some people are relying on third-party information. I want you to go do your homework, because when you do your homework, you will then understand the urgency of why this community was created. A community that should exist in love and in respect for each other. All right, so very soon, Kringle.cash will become a thing of the past, and then we'll move on to a new system. And at that point, we have completely rebranded. So the idea of TBC009 is now a thing of the past. Some people are thinking that we'll use TBC009 to do something. What are we using it for? TBC009 is the past. We are now in Simply Brilliant community. In the Simply Brilliant community that will be set up by the administration or is in process of now being completed, there's going to be a whole lot of different things from what we saw in Kringle Cash. Kringle Cash is version 1. There will be version 2.0, and that's what we're calling the new one that is coming. I don't know what the URL link is yet. Shortly, every of us will know, and it's going to be beautiful. Now, there's going to be what you call a united mind. There's going to be a 24-hour training on that one. In fact, the training is going to be such that nobody will say, I do not know how this system operates. Now, I may not have a full comprehension of how the training is, but the training will be in a way that everybody will have the same information. Everybody will have the same understanding. Everybody will say the same thing about the community. The training is going to be such that it will address everything. Of course, we've been on for 6 years. So the administration knows where the loopholes are, and is going to create a very beautiful academic system to correct all the anomalies so that people will not come with a mindset which is not. So it's going to be very clear, and people will learn, and it will continually be improved upon so that humanity or the people who will be members of this community will stand in one voice. And together, we are going to say no to the elites. Our coin it's a protest coin. We don't have to go to the streets to make noise, because as long as we're using their medium of control, which is their money, we are in a way accepting, we are in a way consenting. So we are completely removing ourselves from the matrix. This is the reason why we are not going to work with anything that pertains to them. We are completely separating ourselves for good because we already know that their system is moving towards a direction of doom. All right. So I believe we've taken note of that. The security is going to be much better than the way it is because we are going to be dealing with a whole lot of finance and everybody should be responsible for their own accounts. Most people are still giving someone to manage their account for them. That's a very huge risk. And uplines are also not being fair because when you are supposed to guide your downlines, instead you take advantage of them and you take what does not belong to you. That's very ungodly. And over time, in the new system we're moving into, such kind of anomaly will be cut off. The administration is making sure that he tightens every loophole, anything that is not going to profit the community at large, something that is going to be a way that can bring down the economy. The administration is actually removing it. And as we move forward, all the lapses are going to be it's going to be corrected. So let's keep moving on. So the admin actually called all of us to be patient with him because if he had his way, by now we should have been in our new system. So please, he craves your indulgence, and I join my voice to him to crave your indulgence as well. To please be patient with him because shortly everything shall be sorted out. Hopefully, before the middle of February, everything shall be sorted out. All right. So we still have a goal. Our goal is to get to $100 between now and hopefully the end of first quarter, which is February or March. We have a goal of getting to at least $100 in our K-Love value. Now, we have what you call a year goal. If things goes as planned, hopefully before the end of this year, our K-Love value should range around 300, 400, or $500. Yes, because it's simple. The supply is shrinked to its barest minimum. Who knows? Maybe 1,000 in circulation. And the number of active members in the community, who happen to be about 55,000 now, are going to be the ones to pay subscription fee, of course, from PancakeSwap. Now, if 55,000 people are adding positive buying pressure, and at the same time, the staking opportunity is also taking place, where 10% is given to members and a yearly API of 285, it actually means it will zap up the total supply in the market and redistribute it to the members. And most of what the members will do is to hodl. And that hodling will cause the price to go up. What if we hit our membership base and then build our billionaires to 1 million this year? Then it means there'll be huge buying pressure on our coin. What do you think the price of K-Love will be by then? Well, I'm guessing $400. It may be more. So what I'm actually pointing at is do your part if you happen to be on the administrative cadre not to fall off. Because by the end of this year, I believe your withdrawal on a daily basis may get to about $50 or more. And if you're able to withdraw $50 on a daily basis, then in a week, that's $350. And that's going to be huge. So please do not allow short-term gratification to blind you towards seeing the big picture. Okay, so I think these are the things, the bulk of the things the administration talked about in the meeting yesterday. So now I'm going to conclude by sharing my screen and then showing us one or two things and then say the last thing, and that'll be all. So I'm now going to share my screen. Okay. All right, I think now my screen is being shared. So I want to begin by saying that the exchange, sorry, not the exchange, the staking is not completely live yet. It's not completely live yet. This is the staking. And if this is the staking, and then you click on invest, as at now, the price of K-Love is $28. And then I put in, let's say $1,000. And that's what I want to invest. I agree with the terms and condition, and I pick my MetaMask wallet. That's the much I can do. There is no other place to move forward. So they have not yet finished on this. Hopefully, before the next 24 hours or 48 hours, it shall be completed so that we can start staking. And then we can start witnessing the price of KLove from $28 to $30 to $40 to $60 to $80 to $100 to $150 between now and June. Be rest assured that if things goes as planned, the price of KLove should be at least around $200. It should be fluctuating around $150, $200 at least by June. And who knows, it could be much higher before the end of the year. It's up to us. With one united mind, everything is possible. So I think this is the summary of all that I have to say. I believe by now we already know that there is a new reward system that is coming up. It has not yet come up, but it's actually loading. There isn't any other thing new for me to talk about at this point. What I have been able to do is to give us a summary of the mass adoption meeting for yesterday. Now, there were a whole lot of people that asked questions, and the questions were really wonderful. Some asked about the gold backed system, which is the coins that were stored up in Dubai, and the administration answered that we are still working on it and that there are a whole lot of other plans that are coming up. And a whole lot of people commended the administration for his steadfastness, for his commitment to see that humanity is not doomed to a life of misery. And I also join my voices to them, with them, and also say congratulations for what the admin has been doing. Now, I think the admin also concluded by talking about the fact that when there is a level playground between abundance and scarcity to have a physical combat, that it always happens that abundance wins. Let's talk about it like this. When there is a battle between light and darkness, it has always been that light always wins, because as long as I am concerned, abundance will have the whole of humanity in the picture. It doesn't matter how many we are, whether we are 6 billion or 7 billion or 8 billion. The plan of SBC community has accommodated the next 1,000 years if there is going to be another thing called, that is the existence of Earth for another 1,000 years. Yes, SBC community will remain dominant, and there will be leaders of my type that will be there at least for the next 1,000 years. The system of this SBC community is not a system that has to do with tenure. Myself, who happen to be the ambassador for Nigeria, it's a lifetime thing. It's not about spending 6 years and then I move over to someone else takes over. It's a lifetime thing. However, if attitudes that are not consistent with the terms and conditions of the community are found in me, then I am subject to being removed. But of course, that's not going to happen. So this also applies to members that are in the community and also members who are in the Privy Council. We are there to make sure that we stand as forces for good. And then as we contend against the kingdoms of darkness, we will prevail. That is why we are there. We are there to make sure that humanity enjoys fresh air. We are there to make sure that things are done the way it should be done, not contrary. And if you put your voices with ours, you'll see that humanity will be a beautiful place, will be like heaven on earth. All right, so I'll stop at this point. If there are people that want to ask questions, I think you can do well to ask your questions if you have questions to ask. But if you don't have questions to ask, I think this will be all. Sorry, I was thinking I was going to come up. My video. The reason why I can't turn on my video is because of where I am at the moment. It's not just okay to turn on the video now, but hopefully some other time I will. So do bear with me on this audio version, and I hope that next time I make it better and then also enjoyable for my audience. So if you're tuning into my broadcast, do well to like, do well to share, do well to subscribe, especially on the part of like, it's part of social proof, so that together with one voice, we can make a difference. So let me greet my audience. Madam Akinrolabu, greetings to you. It's a pleasure having you again on my broadcast. And my beloved sister, thank you also for coming into my broadcast and keeping up with what's happening. I'm certain that you were also in the mass adoption meeting yesterday, but for the love of God, you also want to listen to a leader such as myself. It's indeed a privilege. I am grateful. Thank you. So, Brother Amodu Idei, greetings. A pleasure having you. And greetings, good morning, brother. You are indeed a good leader. Yeah, all of us are expected to be good leaders, not just one person. Leadership is from the heart. When you listen to someone who is speaking from the heart, you will know. If you are listening to someone who is speaking out of selfishness, you will also know. Yeah, sometimes it could be dicey, but keep listening. You would find out if this one is coming from the perspective of greed or perspective of love. You can't hide it. If you have the spirit to discern, you will know. If you are given to quick gratification, you will know. It's leadership is not something that you hide. Leaders are not people who just come up from the blues. Leaders are being built over time. The administration has built me and is still building me. And I believe that if you are paying attention, he's building you as well. So on this note, I want to say thank you very much. Madam, I love what you've said and I appreciate you as well. Thank you very much and God bless you. So I want to use this opportunity to wish us a happy weekend because by tomorrow the weekend begins. And hopefully I'll be coming your way again, maybe on Tuesday. That if there are no informations that come in between now and then, but if there is, maybe I'll come up. So till I come your way again some other time, cheers and God bless you. Bye for now.